Today's guest is Katharine Giovanni, a three-time award-winning best-selling author, international speaker, practical forgiveness educator, and transformation mentor. With 16 books to her name, including The Ultimate Path to Forgiveness, Unlocking Your Power, Katharine has dedicated her work to helping people release the emotional weight of past pain and move forward with greater freedom, peace, and clarity. Ka- Yeah, I can hear
Okay, perfect.
you. So, tell us, what is your definition of forgiveness? And why do so many people misunderstand what forgiveness really means?
Well, the thing about forgiveness is everybody on the planet tells you to forgive your parents, your teachers, your pastor, but nobody tells you how to forgive. How? What are the steps? And what if you don't want to? What if it's an unforgivable person? Then what do? That's the problem. Nobody's provided the step-by-step system on exactly how to forgive somebody. And everybody listening to this broadcast, including you, my friend, everybody is thinking of their unforgivable person, which is fair. You're thinking about that one person that wrecked your world. And that's fair. That's why nobody wants to forgive, because your brain immediately goes to that worst case scenario. So the system I've developed, we're going to start with the easy ones, and we're going to work our way up to that dumpster fire. We're just not going to start there.
All right, Catherine, thank you so much. So many people struggle with the idea of forgiving someone who caused them deep pain. Is it truly possible to forgive the unforgivable?
It is. It is. The thing about forgiveness, there's a couple of things that people believe that are just, quite frankly, wrong and not true. First of all, just because I forgive you doesn't mean I want a relationship with you. I probably don't. I've put boundaries in place to prevent it. You're still wrong. You probably don't even deserve my forgiveness. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me to get you out of my head. That's the definition of forgiveness. I want you out of my head. You don't do it for them. You don't have to reach out to them. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to have coffee with them. You do it because you want to stop thinking about them. Here's another one. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean all of a sudden I'm giving in. I'm not saying they were right and you were wrong. Absolutely not. You're still wrong. You're still that dumpster fire. I'm forgiving for me. That's the thing. And then then we have a lot of people who say, well, you forgive and then you forget about it. I'm from New York City originally, and I can promise you with every fiber of my being, and I can speak for everybody in that town, we don't forget anything. So you're not going to forget what happened, but the emotional charge to what happened is going to be neutralized. You won't care anymore, and that's freedom.
All right, thank you so much. So, does forgiveness require confronting the person who hurts you? Or can healing happen without ever having that conversation?
You don't have to reach out to the person. You just don't. Remember, in many of the cases, especially if it's somebody unforgivable, it's not even appropriate for you to reach out to this person. So, no, you don't have to talk to them. The system that I've developed, you can do in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to tell anybody. And for what it's worth, you can forgive dead people, because since you don't have to reach out to them and talk to them face to face, unless, of course, you want to, but since you don't have to do that, you can forgive dead people, because where they are or are not doesn't matter a lick. If they're alive and well in your mind, then you can forgive them. And I can go through the system quickly if you want me to. It's pretty easy system.
Right. Thank you so much, Catherine. So you are talking about the unforgivable, the unforgivable. What will somebody do to make us consider them unforgivable? Because I think God said we should forgive every sin, right?
Yeah, that's probably in the Bible, and I've read the Bible cover to cover, but it's been decades since I've read it. But
You don't seem to sound like a Christian.
forgiveness is everywhere in the Bible. But again, nobody tells you how. So I'm going to answer the unforgivable question, and I'm going to teach you the system all in the same shot, and I'll do it as fast as I can. And all of this is in my book, audio book, blah, 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 all of that. I want you to sit down in a quiet place, and I want you to write down all the people you will need to forgive. Everybody. And you can write it on your cell phone, pen and paper. I don't care. Then I want you to take that list, and I want you to rate them from 1 to 10. 10 being unforgivable, 1 being easy. And then I want you to sit down, put your hand in your heart, look at the first name. And we'll just say it was a friend of mine from high school. We'll call her Susan. Now I want you to imagine that Susan is standing right in front of you. And that's as a friend from when you were a kid. So I don't want you to imagine the adult in front of you. I want you to see the kid. And if you can't imagine something in your mind, because not everybody can, put a chair in front of you and talk to the chair. Now get it all out. Get the closure you need. Say anything you like. And then put your hand in your heart and say, I completely forgive Susan. I forgive the energy around Susan. I completely forgive myself, the energy around myself. I completely forgive the energy around the entire thing. And so it is. Now check in with your body. Are you still angry? No? Okay. I want you to cross her name off the list and go to the next one. Are you really still angry? And she was a level 4 and now you think she's a 3? Okay. Cross the number off, put a 3 there instead, and wait 24 hours. Do it again. Was it a level 5 person and now you are so mad? You did that first pass and all of a sudden you are number 10 unforgivable mad. What happened? It went the wrong way. Well, that's because your brain is a beautiful instrument and there's a closet in the back of your head. And what you just did was that the magic open sesame words. And the closet opened and flooded your brain with memories because your brain finally decided you were ready you can handle those memories. So cross the 3 off, put a 10, wait 24 hours, do it again. Now let's talk about the unforgivable. We'll use my father as an example. My father died 30 years ago. So yes, I'm forgiving a dead person. And I never really got closure with him. And I was so mad when I started this decades ago, but I was so angry at him, I couldn't forgive him. I didn't even want to forgive the energy around the man. So I pulled apart the memory. Now remember, there are people in this world that are unforgivable. They are 100% unforgivable. You don't have to forgive the unforgivable. I'm the only one on the planet that will tell you that. Why? Because there's a lot of people, places, and things. I did say places and things. Don't click off. Stay with me. That you can forgive before you even get to that person. So using my dad as an example, we'll throw him under the bus. He doesn't mind. I couldn't forgive him or the energy, so I pulled apart a memory. I picked a random Christmas. And I'm serious when I say this. I forgave the table. I forgave the chairs that I sat in. I forgave the house. I forgave the town. I forgave the other people at the table. Still haven't forgiven Dad yet, but I'm forgiving all the other parts of the memory, including the inanimate objects. Once I did that, I thought about forgiving Dad, and I still wasn't ready to forgive him, but it went from a 10 to a 9.5, so the needle moved. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. This is not an easy fix. That's why we leave the unforgivable people for dead last, because by the time you get to those dumpster fires, you will start to feel better. Your body's going to feel better. Your life is going to look a little brighter, and you will be physically ready to handle whatever the memory that is. And if you never forgive the actual person, that's fine. Forgive what you can within the memory and move on.
What would you say to someone who feels stuck in anger, resentment, or hurt after many years?
A lot of the anger we hold within our body has been there since childhood. You know, family will really mess you up, right? My mother used to say that every family is the same, only the names have changed. So every family has anger and resentment and all that kind of stuff. We all have it. And you carry that anger into your adulthood, and it sits in the back of your brain in that closet I was talking about, and it comes out at just the wrong moment. You'll get triggered. You'll get triggered by an apple pie. You smell the apple pie. It reminds you of your grandmother. You are mad at your grandmother. Now, all of a sudden, you're knee deep in the memory. How do you get rid of the triggers? And the way you get rid of the triggers is through my system, because you can pull apart the memories. You can forgive the bakery. You can forgive the pie. You can forgive the apples. You could forgive all of that. I still haven't forgiven grandma, but I can forgive the memories around it. You can forgive the bed, the table, the chair, the bench, the car that drove you there. It's going to take the emotional charge out of that memory so you can breathe easier. Listen, science has proven without a shadow of a doubt that everything on our planet has an energy field around it. It's been proven, including the little silver microphone I am speaking into right now. It has an energy field around it. And that's why you keep getting triggered, is because you didn't forgive the energy. So by forgiving the person and the energy around the person, or forgiving the table and the energy around the table, you're going to release that dark energy so you can breathe again.
Okay, so what is the biggest transformation you hope people experience after learning your forgiveness process?
There was a study done in Japan called the Japanese Water Study. And there's a guy named Matsumoto something. I could never remember his name. I apologize. But if you Google Japanese Water Study, you'll find it. It usually comes right up. What the guy did is he took 2 containers of water. One container of water, all he did was talk to it. That's it. He said these beautiful words to it, loving words, the most beautiful words you can say to a human soul. He said to that container of water. The other container of water, pure hate. The most horrible words you could say to a human, he said to that container of water. Then he put the water and froze it, and then put it under a microscope and took a look. The water he spoke love to had these gorgeous crystal transformations. The pictures are right online. They are very cool. The water he spoke hate to had these sick, horrible transformations. And the whole thing looks sick. Now, why am I telling you this? Because the human body is 95% water. So when you're speaking hate to yourself, your self-talk is bad, you're filled with anger, you're filled with resentment, you're filled with bitterness and rage. What do you think you're doing to the water cells within your own body? You're literally making yourself sick from the inside out. That's why they say anger is toxic. That's why they say healing comes from the inside and moves your way out, because you're literally turning the water cells in your body and you're making them sick.
Okay, so here is my final question for you. Talking about your audiobook, is there something you would like to spill that will get listeners right now wanting to go and check out? Maybe just a little secret from your audiobook that when you say it, it will make my listeners want to go and check out your audiobook.
By forgiving people, your life is going to get dramatically better. And even if you start with the easy ones and you work your way up to those really horrific, dark ones, your you're going to start to feel healthier. You're going to stop being sick and tired. You're going to notice things. Your perspective is going to change because you're not looking at your past and your present through the rose-colored glasses of anger. You're going to be looking at through glasses of love, and you're going to be able to see the money-making opportunity that just presented itself to you, or the new relationship, or that great apartment, or you're going to meet somebody who has the apartment. You're going to start to pay attention. You're going to start to notice things. Why didn't you pay attention before? Because you were so focused on the anger and the resentment and the bitterness, and you kept playing those stories over and over in your head. You didn't see the opportunities around you. So by forgiving the easy ones, by forgiving part of your past, it's going to make room in your present. And new things are going to pop in. You're going to feel better. You'll lose the weight. You'll get that job. But keep at it, because this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. It is not an instant fix. And for the ladies out there, just know that you are worthy. You are worthy to live a life of love and joy and prosperity. It's your birthright.
All right, thank you so much, Katharine. This has been a very, very wonderful and exciting episode. Thank you for sharing such an important message about forgiveness and emotional freedom. The work reminds us that forgiveness is not about denying the past, it's about releasing its power over our present and future. So for those that would like to connect with you and learn more about the audiobook, how to access the audiobook, how can they do that?
Well, the audiobook is on Amazon, of course, but you could also go to my website, which is KatharineGiovanni.com. My first name is spelled very odd, thanks to my mom, and it's Katharine Giovanni.com.
All right, thank you so much. And thanks to all my audience once again for tuning in. You guys are the reason why we do this every day. And Katharine, do have a wonderful day ahead. All right.